Welcome to the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast. This is where Matt shares all his ideas on how to be happier, more successful, and enjoy life to the fullest. Please go to mattogradycoaching.com and thelivinggratitudebook.com to learn more and receive your free micro-coaching session with Matt.
Hello and welcome to the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast, mattogradycoaching.com. Today I wanted to talk about gratitude and appreciation. During a pandemic, during a quarantine, I know a lot of you are going to be like, really, Matt? How are we going to be able to do that? There's so much wrong with this situation. And I don't deny that. It's true. There is so much wrong with this situation, and there's so much sadness and pain, confusion and fear out in the world right now. However, we always have the choice to choose feeling better, reaching for a better feeling thought, feeling gratitude, feeling appreciation, feeling happiness. It's always a choice, even during a pandemic. And even more important, in my opinion, to make sure we're practicing during a pandemic. So I ask you, how often are you practicing what you're grateful for? I'm grateful for my coffee that I just took a sip of. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful that there's still food in the stores and food in my fridge. I'm glad that my family is safe. And I have compassion for the people and families who are dealing with loss of life, health issues. I am feeling terrible for the people who have lost their jobs, are financially ruined, have lost their life savings in the stock market. Yet I can still be grateful for this cup of coffee. I can still have compassion for those people and feel sadness for those people and for myself, because of how my business has been affected or, that type of a thing. But I can also be grateful. It's not mutually exclusive. Just because there's sad things, there's always sad things going on. It's just more pronounced. As we know, there's tragedies that happen every day all across the globe, right in our own towns, potentially right in our own lives and our own families. But what does that mean? We're just never grateful again? We don't appreciate anything again? We never get happy again? No way. So there's some great content on this website called happierhuman.com. I've referenced it many times in the past, and they recently updated one of their 31 benefits of gratitude, the ultimate science-backed guide. It's really cool. Tremendous read. There's tremendous flow charts on gratitude, focusing on, the benefits of gratitude and the happiness in the middle, and then how it helps our emotional lives, our social lives, helps our personality, helps our physical health, and helps our career, which a lot of people could use right now. So the first thing you want to realize is that gratitude makes you happier, right? Being grateful and appreciating what we have, even for a few moments, can lift your spirits, make you feel so much better. So it's always a good choice. It's never going to hurt your life. It's only going to help it. So one of the easiest ways to do this, especially if you haven't been a very consistent practicer, or if you practice it and it feels more like a laundry list and you're like, I'm grateful that I'm alive, I'm grateful that I have my family, but you're not like getting that emotional connection to it, because that's the key. When you're first starting off, of course, there may be just a disconnection because you got to go through the intellectual exercise of it. But since I've been practicing this for over 20 years on a daily basis, it's immediate for me. I don't have to wait for the emotional connection. It's always right there. But it took some practice to get it into that space. And it doesn't mean that I haven't had days where it's tougher to connect emotionally, of course. But now it's there. and it's just so deeply ingrained because I've been practicing it for more than 2 decades that it really is something that always, within seconds, I'm feeling emotions. They might be light at first, but as I continue, I think about my son, think about my wife, think about my close family members, my parents, my brother, my cousins. I start going out and thinking about all my best friends and all their families and all the people that I'm connected to and close to, and all the joy and beauty that they've brought to my life and my family's life, and all the beautiful experiences we've had together. I mean, it's just so easy once you get in the flow of it. All of the beautiful, wonderful benefits, things to be grateful for, just start flowing right to you, right out of your heart into your mind. And you could say them out loud is a great way to do it, the way I'm doing it right now with you. Another great way to do it is to write it down. There's something very special. There's science behind this. It's not just, an idea, but writing down what you're grateful for. Same way when you need to write down your plan, write down your affirmations, write down what you want, write down what's upsetting you. Writing things down helps us process, helps us connect. There's some real helpful piece to bringing it into the tangible. And I know some people like to type it, but I highly recommend you get a pad and a pen or a journal and you write it down. And it's so simple. And I'm going to give you this homework and this task. I would love it if you're willing to commit to this task right now. It's one of the simplest things you could ever do. Just write 3 things that you're grateful for every day. You can do it in less than 10 seconds if you want. I don't recommend that. I recommend you take some time and feel it and really think about the people or situations and picture it in your mind. And really swim through your gratefulness and notice what you're connected to when you do that. But let's talk about why. Why do we want to do this? Well, when we practice gratitude, we are doing a massive amount of really good things for ourselves. We're increasing all of our good, healthy energy. What is everybody worried about right now? Being unhealthy, right? As we look out on the world and see the news and hear the terrible tragedies happening all across the globe, most of it's related to health. Of course, the financial piece and job piece comes very quick second. But if you're grateful, you're going to be healthier. You're going to have a stronger immune system. So don't you think that it would be a really good idea to try to find, even in tough times, what you are grateful for and really swim around in that? Raise your vibration through feeling good, choosing better feeling thoughts. So just at a glance, keeping a gratitude journal here, a scientific report, 18% fewer physical symptoms, 19% more time exercising, also helps increase your health and increase your immunity, 10% less physical pain, 8% more sleep, and 25% increased quality of sleep. 25%. Just imagine what 25% better quality sleep would do for you. Oh, and if you're getting 10% more, let's just think about the compounded effects of 10% more sleep. So that's, for most of us, that's at least a half hour, right? So, as you start to go through this, it's just mind-boggling to me that a gratitude practice and appreciation practice isn't more popular. It's been around for thousands of years. Counting our blessings. There's been thousands of books written on the subject, one of which I wrote. So, as you go through this process, really challenge yourself to be more grateful. Challenge yourself to be more grateful throughout the day and feel it. That's the key. The feeling is the secret, as Neville Goddard says. The feeling is the secret. Now, another thing that people often don't take advantage of is feeling grateful in advance. Matt, how can I be grateful in advance? I don't know what's going to happen. My life is... Okay, I understand. Just choose it anyway. Just take 2 minutes out of your day to choose what you want for your life and be grateful for it. Just picture it right now. Whether it's a relationship or your health or your finances or your physical body or whatever it is, safety and well-being for a family member, someone you love, for the world. What is it that you want most right now? What do you desire most? Picture it in your mind. And now assume that you already have it. Assume the feeling of being grateful in advance for what you want most. Just start to work, just start to chip away at that. The resistance may be right there for you. It may be, what? This is crazy. How do I do it? I'm not doing it right. Whatever those voices are in your head, those thoughts, those negative, resistant thoughts, don't worry about it. Just keep coming back to it like water on stone. This technique works. I've been using it for many years, and I've been using it more recently because of the state of the world and realizing I'm usually pretty grateful for what's going on in my life. My life is usually feeling pretty awesome, and lately it's been feeling a little less awesome. So I've been working. I've been diving deep into my inner work every night, every morning, and then several times throughout the day, taking some big chunks of time, not just 2 minutes here or there like I usually would during the workday, but taking 15 or 20 minutes to rest and meditate and be grateful in advance, be grateful for what I have in the moment, be grateful for what I've had in the past, and appreciate it all the people I'm working with, all the people I'm in family with, all the people I'm in friend with, and just really working through all of these stressful things that come up for all of us and processing it. I'm accepting it and I'm facing it and I'm working through it. And it's not always easy, but man, is it rewarding. And I think gratitude and appreciation practice is really helpful to do that. So let's continue down list of some of the positive things that they have here. The emotions of appreciation and gratitude are shown to induce the relaxation response. So if you don't know what the relaxation response is, I highly recommend that you Google it and research it a little bit, and or read the book, The Relaxation Response by Herbert Benson. I believe he's a Harvard-trained medical research doctor, and he's got an amazing book, I think he wrote in the 70s, about how relaxation response, what happens when we meditate, when we're calm, when we're relaxed. What happens is the body goes into homeostasis, and all of a sudden, it's not working on stress hormones, it's working on endorphins and all the oxytocin and all the really beautiful, amazing hormones, because we've got the best drugstore that's ever been created inside us. So without taking drugs or alcohol or food and sugar or caffeine, we can choose our focus and feel good on the inside. Just think about that for a second. You can do it yourself. And I've done it thousands of times for myself, and I've taught thousands of people how to do it. I know you can do it too. You probably already are doing it if you're listening to this podcast. But if you're newer to this type of information, it's possible that you're still, kind of working through some of these things. Highly, highly, highly recommend learning more about the relaxation response. It's a book I read in the 90s and was blown away by it, and I've circled back to a lot of Herbert Benson material. I don't think he's still with us, but his wisdom is, and his research is, and he was one of the first American researchers, at a kind of like medical high level to publish this information, and he did it, 50 years ago. Pretty amazing. A gratitude visit reduced depressive symptoms by 35% for several weeks. A gratitude journal lowered depressive symptoms by 30% for as long as the practice was continued. Patients with hypertension were instructed to count their blessings once a week. This is just once a week. There was a significant decrease in their systolic blood pressure. Man, this stuff is good, huh? Gratitude correlated with improved sleep quality and required less time to fall asleep and increased sleep duration by 14%. Levels of gratitude significantly correlated with vitality, right? Our health and our energy. And it says "and energy" here, but I think vitality. Energy is inherent in vitality. So they say here in the article, amazing. In case you can't read the physical benefits of gratitude in the image above, the studies show gratitude can decrease pain, reduce bad health symptoms, increase time spent exercising, increase sleep time, increase sleep quality, lower blood pressure, increase energy, and more. There is even reason to believe gratitude can extend your lifespan by months and even possibly years. Well, I think that's important. I really do. I mean, hey, it's just me, Matt O'Grady, gratitude coach, meditation coach, business coach. But man, I've been chanting the beauty of this good for decades, and I will continue to for the rest of my life because it changed my life. A lot of you may not know this story if you haven't read my book, because I don't talk about it on the podcast much. But during my dark night of the soul, I didn't know what to do. I turned to a few different authors, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, and Deepak Chopra. I didn't know what to do, but I worked in a bookstore, so through my depression and physical, mental, emotional pain, I decided to try to figure something out to help myself. And gratitude was one of the main things. Gratitude and meditation were the two things that I started doing. As I researched and read, they seemed like they just kept coming up with what I was reading, so that's what I did. And I practiced and practiced and practiced every day. And I couldn't believe the very first time I ever really tried to do a conscious, grateful exercise. And I was sitting at lunch, feeling very sad and depressed for myself, reading a Louise Hay book. And I decided to put the book down and really do the practice. Even though I felt terrible and I was reading her words and I was like, this is a bunch of horse poop. And I just didn't believe in it. But I decided to take a chance anyway. And I just started to attempt to be grateful for where I was in that moment, because I was near the beach and I could hear the ocean and the wind and smell the salt and the ocean air and hear the seagulls. And I love those sounds, and I love the beach. And the bookstore that I worked at was only a few blocks from the beach. And as terrible as I felt my life was, and as upset as I was about being in such physical pain and emotional pain, I realized in that moment that shifting my focus and keeping it there, even for just a few seconds, there was a change. I could feel how there was a shift, a change in that moment. And that moment changed my life, because from that moment on, I knew that there was something to this. I knew that it was possible. And throughout the weeks and months afterwards, I started spending more and more time in gratitude, looking for things to appreciate, looking for things to count as a blessing, and then counting them. And since it's all about the feeling, it's not about the laundry list. It never is. Never about just the list, although you may have to start there. It's about feeling the grateful heart, about really counting those blessings and being grateful to yourself, to others, to the world, to the universe, to God, whatever resonates for you. And then really feeling it in your heart and letting that feeling lift you up and get you into the flow of your life. And you know, I could sit here and talk for hours and hours. I mean, this list, I'm just going to come back to this because I'm only on number 4, and there's 33 things here. The next one is gratitude boosts our career. So we'll save that for another time. I'll do a nice little gratitude and appreciation series. But thank you for listening. I really hope you practice this. Whether you're really good at this already and can just practice naturally, that's wonderful. If you can't, you're having trouble with it, please try writing it down. Please commit to writing down 3 things you're grateful for in the same notebook or journal for the next 3 weeks. 3 things a day for 3 weeks, and when you're writing them down, do your best to feel the appreciation that you have for them. And just notice what that feels like. Notice what happens to your mind, to your heart, to your body, to your attitude, to your mood, to your emotions. And see if you can sustain that lifted up state as long as possible while staying in gratitude. And I'd love to know what you think. MattO'GradyCoaching.com. I would love your feedback, and I would love to gift you a complimentary coaching session. So do me a favor and reach out to me. MattO'GradyCoaching.com. Peace.